ways, like taking a risk to break the little bit of rule, to take that little bit of a leap of like that little protest against the bureaucracy. I mean, like literally at the line at Starbucks or something like that. Like even in the tiniest of ways, when I see people, just like it's almost like that little like glimmer in their eye, a wink, like we're in this together. There's all this conformity all around us. That's at a different time could have been Nazi Germany, could have been Stalinist Soviet Union. Sure. We're in this together. We're going to rebel against that conformity by just taking the risk, a little bit of risk against mediocrity.
I think a lot of people are not capable of that.
They're accustomed to it. I don't know if they're not capable.
No, I understand your position. I'm disagreeing with it. I'm saying I do not think they're capable. I think a lot of people effectively don't have souls. They do not have a conscience in this sense where they're going to look at an issue, bring their critical thinking, and say, all right, I'm going to do the right thing, although I'm taking a risk.
I don't think thinking is involved, or is it just taking that leap? There's something about that basic human spirit. Forget the thinking part. It's just saying like, I'll take that risk. They're taking that adventure. The same thing that got people to explore the seas, you know, throughout human civilization, explore land, explore the oceans, like that exploration. Like we've done stuff this way all this time. I'm gonna take a leap, and that comes out of nowhere.
But those people are the heroes. But I don't think that's universal. I'm going to use a very gauche example. There was a show called Scare Tactics, which was basically a candid camera, but they would scare people. Like they'd have vampires, whatever, and hidden camera and people's reactions. And so but sometimes the prank didn't work out like they expected. So there was one where they were hiring the people who were the marks, you know, the contestants, so to speak, who were hired to be a security guard. Okay. And you have to watch this factory overnight and you get paid. And what the setup was, some people were breaking out of the factory in the middle of the night, like in rags, and they were saying they were keeping us prisoner here, like blah blah, and just watch the person's reaction to this. And there was one security guard where he basically forced them back into the building, and they're working us 24/7. We're getting beaten. He's like, I'm here to do a job, get back in there. And you watch this, and it never even enters his head to be like, something's wrong here. He was given his orders, he's following his orders, and to me, that is not uncommon. And that person, although they look like you and I, there's something essentially human missing with them. Now, very quickly, the reaction is, well, it's one step from there to Nazism. I don't think it's something I'm not saying this person should be killed, but I'm just saying to expect that every human being has the capacity to have that defiance, especially at a cost of their life. That, I think, is not realistic.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later it comes you down. Sooner or later it comes you down.
Go and tell that long-tongued rider. Go and tell that great divider. Tell the leveler, the gatherer, the night rider. Tell them the gods cut them down.
Listen to them, Marxists. Can you hear the horns honking? Can you hear them? They honk for thee.
I swear to God, we'll hold them still when they took away everybody's free will.
Tell the rambler, the gambler, the night, knowing the gods
Sooner or later, gonna cut you down.
you can run on for a long time.
Run on for a long time.
Run on for a long time.
But sooner or later, God will cut you down. Someday soon, God will cut you down.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, cut you down. Someday, cut you down. Go and tell that lonesome liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the night rider. Tell the God
further ado, Scott Campbell and Jay Shaw, the Unacceptable.
Sunday Fun Day, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funny with the Unacceptables. It's been a cold week for us here. It warmed up a little bit yesterday, so that was nice. And then we had some sun today. That was super nice. So this is Sunday Fun Day. The criteria for the show is it has to be fun. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Unacceptable, Jay Shaw.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everything's going great. Likewise with Scott, we had not the greatest week last week weather-wise, and then we got pounded with snow again Friday, Saturday. It got sunny on Saturday in between the great big flakes, but pretty overcast today. But it was a good weekend to do some indoor gardening in my case.
Did you guys get a lot of snow, or how much snow did you get?
We got 9 inches, yeah, and in like 37 hours or so, 36 hours. Yeah,
no, that's not bad.
Most of it melted, but it wasn't any kind of crisis or anything. But
we had
yeah,
more than that.
You had more. No, this is just Friday and Saturday. Like we had lots.
Mm-hmm.
Like last week I think we got like 17 inches from like the Thursday before last until last Wednesday when it kind of let up here, and then kind of a day and a half pause, and then it started and gave us another 9 inches. So I think the grand total was like 26 inches in the last 10 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
But which is probably similar to what you got too, I'd imagine, eh? Pretty close to that.
We got probably about
more, maybe.
No, we probably got about a total of, so we got about 35 centimeters the first chunk, and then we got another, I want to say another 12 or 15 centimeters in the second chunk. So I don't know how that lines up with yours. It sounds similar.
A little less, a little less, but whatever.
But we have the fortunate good fortune rather to have some brilliant drivers down here in the Lower Mainland, and a whole bunch of them. So when you get just like a few flakes that are melting on the ground, people lose their fucking minds and drive into ditches, ram into each other, and drive 20 kilometers an hour slower when they don't need to. And it's very confusing because people are either not careful at all, or they're overly careful, like to the point where they're causing traffic problems by being too careful. And there seems to be no good logic in there. People are still following, within a car length from each other at 70 kilometers an hour in this shit. But, they don't think to give themselves a little bit more following distance or anything. But, either way, that's Vancouver for you. And I don't want to get started on traffic in the weather because it's Sunday Fun Day, folks. Now, what I want to start us with the clip. Jay, do you mind?
Yeah, no, go ahead, man.
If everybody remembers, we had a teacher in a school in Ontario, a shop teacher, show up with giant prosthetic breasts that were horrendously huge. Like they were like two separate, beings on this person. It was like carrying two small children. The size of these things. You're going to see them here in a second. So here I just want to. I'm just going to get this going here, Jay. 1 second. All right, here's our boy Gutfeld here.
Kazumba Gate, he calls it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's classic. He even polled his audience to make sure that everybody wanted him to do that segment. And they said yes, so there we go.
Sorry, that's give me 1 second there. I don't know why that clip didn't work. I must have done something wrong. All right, here. How's that?
I got a screen. Yeah, you betcha.
All right, let's try that over. Here we go.
Stop it. Stop it. Take that outnumbered. Happy Friday. And you know what we do first? Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so well dressed, he makes salads jealous. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus. He's so hot, he could be my twin brother. Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, Pete Hegseth. She's like an earthworm, small, slender, and thrives in dirt. Fox News contributor, Kat Tibb. And finally, when he sneezes, 4 states issue tornado warnings. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrant. All right. Before we get to some news stories, and we have some new ones, some blockbusters, if you will, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Wish I had a fridge like that. It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week. And as always, it's my first time reading these, so if they suck, it's on you. That doesn't make any sense, but who cares? Here we go. Hershey's is facing a boycott after putting a trans person's face on a wrapper commemorating International Women's Day. But the company agreed to compromise and only use the photo on Mr. Goodbars. I would have said, now if it were me, I would have said they would only put it on candy bars with nuts. Yes, that's better, huh? Hershey also apologized for referring to the model's breasts as milk duds. My joke was better. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers recently spent 4 days meditating in a light-deprived underground retreat. He said the darkness and isolation will prepare him in case he's traded to the Jets. It's a little sports joke. I don't get it. Tensions are high following Nigeria's elections. After President-elect Bola Tinubu was declared the winner with 8.9 million votes. The opposition maintains the real winner is a prince who only needs a few bucks to cover processing fees. So bad. Oh, man. During a White House reception marking Black History Month, President Biden quipped, "I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid," prompting fact checkers to insist he's both. Russian President Vladimir Putin has awarded the Order of Friendship to action movie star Steven Seagal. The last person to give Seagal that award was, of course, Jenny Craig.
I threw up in my mouth.
A new lawsuit claims that NFL Films maintains a database of cheerleaders' buttocks, breasts, and cleavage shots. In response, the NBA was like, "No, you too?" There you go. Earlier this week, NYC received its biggest snowfall of the season, totaling over 3 inches. New Yorkers say it wasn't much, which is confusing because I always thought 3 inches was plenty. See that one? Like, why even?
See, Erica, 3 inches is
And
plenty.
finally, a co-defendant in the theft of Lady Gaga's dogs is suing for the reward because Lady Gaga said it would be no questions asked. When President Biden heard there was a reward for no questions asked, he said we should give that to reporters. Now for some news. Is it time to retire the bra with titanium underwire? True, the breasts you can't believe have been placed on leave. It can only mean one thing.
If it happens up there, we report down here. You're watching Gazumba Gate, Canada 2023. Week 24.
The final reckoning.
Kayla Lemieux, the Canadian woodshop teacher whose phony Z cups could have housed 50 Keebler elves, has reportedly been placed on leave, meaning those massive Canadian domes have finally been sent home. If you're just tuning in, and I'm sorry for that, here's a recap. This is Kayla Lemieux. Here she is along with her friends, Brian and Stelter. The school board still stands behind the teacher. No other choice. It's great. In the unlikely event of a water emergency landing, your shop teacher can be used as a flotation device. Now, there have been angry protests, upset parents, and aroused and confused babies. If they were states, they'd be worth 98 electoral votes. But there might be a bigger reason why no one's talking, and not because they were motorboated into silence. Local pilots initially reported it as a collision of weather balloons. If the chute doesn't open, you'll be fine if you land face down. You didn't find that kind of journalism on Fox News Sunday. Shannon. And so the school district spokeswoman told the Toronto Sun Lemoy, whatever, is still employed, just not on active assignment. But how active can you be when you strap 2 Zeppelins to your chest? So she's still getting paid, but not at a job, which seems to be the only solution these days when dealing with nuts. But at least she can finally spend more time with her family. That's the truly funny part of all this. She wasn't sent home for wearing her fetish costume in front of kids. She was sent home for not wearing it more at home or at the store, wherever this guy goes to buy reinforced bras. The news comes days after we reported that the school board finally presented a professionalism policy in response to parental outrage. The only problem, the policy didn't include any specific dress code to address Kayla's knockers. So, like a women's studies degree, it wasn't worth the paper it was written on.
A sexist would say.
Most people agree. Kayla, who reportedly used to go by Carrie, says she's intersex and blames her bust on a rare medical condition called gigantomastia, which used to be part of Yugoslavia. But now that she's temporarily out of the classroom, her bra can be returned to its original use, the teacup ride at Disneyland. Pete, welcome back. Would you say I'm the Woodward and Bernstein of big knockers? I doggedly tracked this story since day one, and I wouldn't let it go until we got answers. Why am I not considered America's newsman?
You are to me.
Okay,
and not only have you gotten answers, but you've gotten outcomes.
Yes.
I mean, this without the dogged reporting of Gutfeld exclamation point.
Yes.
There's not the scrutiny, the outrage, and now the photo. I mean, you see that. The amazing part about this is that he is claiming that he suffers from, you said it, gigantomastia.
Yeah.
Breasts that are he can't control.
Right.
But he takes them off.
He takes them off. So somehow they have a mind of their own. They're artificially intelligent.
They grow on their own.
They grow on their own. You take them off. They go into a corner. Suddenly they go. They talk through the nipple.
It's possible. And then in the morning, he looks up and goes, they've grown again.
They've grown again. What do I do? And then he has to strap them on and then leave the house.
You raised the right point, though. So it's not what happened. It's the same thing with all the other perverted stuff in schools. Mm. You couldn't get away with it on the street, but you can get away with it in elementary school.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
You said that yesterday. That's exactly what this is.
Well, let's just take it out of it for a sec. When would you wear your best stuff? When you were out looking for a mate or somebody to hook up with or to impress? When would you wear your best stuff?
At night, going out?
When you're going out, you put your cologne on, your best suit or whatever, you go out the club to attract what? Attention from whoever you're interested in. So where is he putting on his best gown at? School.
Mm-hmm.
So my best guess is I hope it's a troll who's having fun with it. But the parent in me feels like he's only doing that around young, impressionable boys. So this might be, you make jokes, but you might have exposed something a lot greater and might have saved some young boys or girls' lives.
That's interesting. You know, I didn't think of it, but you're right. Maybe I am the real hero.
Listen, it pains me.
See, he is a hero, folks.
It pains me beyond measure. Because I knew coming here today, as much as Kat and I tried to talk him out of this crazy he does, that I had to give him praise for this.
Yeah, and it honestly pains me to say that I had pretty much the exact same thing written down here.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, he got punished for not wearing it more often. I think here that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she, him, they, whatever, it apparently varies.
Yeah.
Where sometimes it's a boob day and sometimes it's not a boob day. But if you're around kids and it's always a boob day, that's a problem.
Exactly. Again, I am the real hero. And I want to say 2 words to you, Kat. Never forget.
Powerful.
You won't let us.
No. Hotep, you've never talked about this in public, have you?
No, but I'm an expert in this because I'm actually a trans person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trans wealthy. So like sometimes I have money, but when people want to borrow money, I'm broke. But I'm going to deviate from the rest of the panel and say he might have a case for discrimination here. Because in the trans community, you have something called gender fluid.
Yes.
Right? Which means you can swap in and out anytime you want. So I would love to see, because I think this is a troll, and I would love to see him do a countersuit and file for discrimination.
Well, the thing is, if it's a troll, man, how does he cover everything? How does he make sure like this is, there's been no break in the role.
Yeah.
There's not like, where are his friends and his family to say, oh, what's his name? Carrie? That Carrie was always up to these little pranks. There's not even like a mom or a dad or anybody. It's so freaky.
It's like the movie Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Where you like don't have a choice. You just strap it on and then like you transform into this new person. Maybe that's what's going on. That's why his family can't.
But again, I hate to be that guy, but I feel like I have to. When you look at people who prey on kids, no one ever knows.
Yeah.
So there's I never saw that. I never saw those behaviors because it's a secret life. It's a disguises. It's all the other things going to. Again, I hope it's just a troll.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's a lot of things there that may add up to something more nefarious.
Pete, what it's like in the military when you rescue people and you pull people out of burning buildings?
The same.
Is it much the same? Yeah. When you're looking at me now,
I'm living vicariously through what you're experiencing.
Do you feel compelled right now to say to me, thank you for your service?
Don't do it.
Would you do it for me?
No. Kat can. She's half.
Yeah, I'm a half veteran.
You are, would you?
Yeah, because you get married and everything's split.
Yeah, that's true.
So will you thank him for his service?
On the behalf of the veteran community, absolutely not. What you're doing in the cavalier way you're talking about military service is disgusting as a half veteran.
All right,
The fuck is a half
Hannity here.
veteran?
Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Alrighty, folks. There you have it, Mr.
So there's the undisputed king of late night since August 2022. One of the longest runs consecutively that has been seen in many, many years. I think since Craig Ferguson switched his lineup some years ago. Now there is somebody nipping at his heels, somebody else who has been the king of late night for brief periods of time. This is a bit of a thinker. There's a really good punchline towards the end though, so I'm going to roll this.
We've heard a lot recently about the fact that maybe the virus did start in the lab. Let's talk about that. The fact that there is this lab, I think it's the only one in the world quite like it, in Wuhan, where it started. It would almost be a conspiracy theory to think it didn't start in a lab.
You would think.
Right? And that theory was demonized at first, that, oh, it can't, that, come on, that's conspiracy thinking, that it would started in the lab. But it certainly is a 50-50, would you say that?
Oh, it's far more likely than that. As a matter of fact, I said, I think in June that the chances that it came from the lab looked to me to be about 90%.
Okay.
So this was never a conspiracy theory. In fact, that term is simply used to make it go away. It's an obvious hypothesis that is in need of testing, and we are only now, a year in, getting to the point where we can discuss it out loud without being stigmatized.
Okay. A big part of the problem, of course, is that we are so politicized, we're so polarized and partisan now as a country that if the wrong guy proposed this to begin with, and for half the country it was the wrong guy, then the rest of the country says, no way, no how, we're going to call that a conspiracy theory, and we're never going to revisit it. And the fact is that's not how science works. That is not science. You need to say, I've got a pattern, I'm going to make some observations, and I'm going to consider every possible explanation on the table. And did it leak from a lab? That was clearly from the beginning a possibility.
And what was missing from this discussion was a proper evolutionary analysis. Now, the fact is, there are lots of viruses that can escape from nature and infect people, but in general, they don't have a second trick. That is to say, they can infect you, they can make you sick, maybe they can kill you, but they can't jump to the next person. And so what's really conspicuous about this virus is that it had both tricks from the get-go. It infects people and it jumps from one person to the next with no explanation.
And I heard at the beginning of this that they usually get milder viruses as they mutate because they want to survive. They don't want to kill anybody, then they got no host.
You might expect that a virus that did emerge from a lab that was doing gain-of-function research would precisely not do the thing that wild-type viruses would do, that it might exactly do what we seem to be seeing.
If you think about it, the expectation amongst those who have been seriously investigating the question of whether this is a gain-of-function lab escape virus is that the virus would have been passed through either animals in the lab or tissues in the lab in order to use evolution to re-rig it. And that means that effectively tension was put on the virus, pulling in the direction of certain things. Some of those things were intentional, like infectivity of human cells, which may have given it extra capacities like this furin cleavage site that no other virus like this has, but SARS-CoV-2 does. The fact that this virus attacks so many different tissues in the body does not seem natural. The fact that it does not, at least at the beginning, did not seem to transmit outdoors nearly at all is very conspicuous. I mean, after all, most animals live outdoors. So a virus that seems to be adapted to indoor transmission is a bit conspicuous in this case. But I think Heather's point is, all right, you take the tension off of it, you let it go into the human population, it spreads out, we've now got many millions of individuals with infections, it's now going to move in the direction that makes the most sense for it rather than the most sense for the researchers. So yes, I think there's every possibility that what we are seeing is a response to this virus now being free to explore evolutionary space.
And the common theme is we need an evolutionary perspective on the research that's being done. It seems that there are certainly perverse incentives to, once you start doing research, to try to keep doing that research regardless of whether or not it's still good for humanity, right? And, excuse me, whether or not this virus emerged from a lab or not actually has implications for how it is likely to behave now that it's out in the world.
So we should have been paying attention to the lab theory at the beginning, but we didn't because it was politicized, really is the moral there.
And that's a little more on the irony side of funny. That one was a little more serious. I do like the way that he talked the whole thing around in a complete circle and ended up back at, well, it's too bad that we didn't look in the important place right from the beginning, which was a big failure. But I can see that Scott's away for a second, so I'm going to roll my second one. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I was doing something there. I'm back. Your clip seemed like it would be longer, and I had
yeah. No worries.
I have to see a man about a horse.
Yeah. Word. So yeah, that was that's Bill Maher with another thinker, and of course, like I say, brilliant interviewing technique where you go all the way around in the circle and bring it right back to the beginning, which in this case was, well, if we would have been looking in the right place, but everybody was doing the Orange Man bad routine, and it fucked us all in the butt. What was you
had another clip, did you, Jay? Did you want to roll your other clip now? Or
yeah.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll roll it out for fun.
Everyone, welcome back to Destination F, SKU code 26. So why invest in a ladder when you can invest in a friend is my first observation. That's why ladders will never get distracted and turn their back on you, whereas free labor friends absolutely will. She doesn't even have anything else to do. She's just like, oi, I'm bored. I want to go back inside. Have a look at this. Crikey, it reminds me of the shit I saw in the medieval torture museum in Prague. You got it, you got it, you got it. Yeah, nah, yeah, nah, yeah, nah. This is hard to watch. This is one of the hardest videos I've ever had to watch. It's more suspenseful than that baby iguana dodging snakes on the Galapagos in Planet Earth 2. This poor man. And what about the beer? You think it likes this as well? Fuck no. We're going to come back to this. Here's a human entering the workplace. Oh! Bam! Who has time to do this at work? She must be employed at a trendy tech company. Then again, they're all getting laid off like regular people. Google is like, sorry, we can't feed you every day anymore. Don't forget your eyelashes on the way out. Have you seen my gherkins lately? Oh, here they are. Let me open it. Ooh, that's a bit whiffy and fucked. Whoa, big win for the gherkins. Meanwhile, at the South American workshop, my Aussie man DF senses are instantly tingling. We have one bloke relaxing, having a cheeky scroll, and another bloke wedging his pole into a door. The pole says, "Thou shalt not be wedged." Oh, how's your foot? The dickhead meanders over. He's like, "That's weird. I swear it was secure." Clearly it fucking wasn't, Derek, or I wouldn't have a broken foot. I was just trying to make a fulcrum. I want the door on a fulcrum. Well, that's not how you make a bloody fulcrum. Gee whiz, that is ouchy. Okay, I'll be alright. See, I've made a fulcrum. It's not a fulcrum. Stop saying that. Are you alright, boss? Oh, no! Direct hit to the back of the cranium. And look at old mate rush in giving direction to Cloakey's incompetence. Stop what you're doing. Stop it right now. Stop this. Are you all drunk? This is a drunk person idea. There has to be another way. There's always another way. You're not going to push glass off the edge of the balcony, are you? Someone question it. One of you wankers, please say no. Yep. Cut to a driving test. Anxiety activated. I don't want to be 16 again. I don't want to. My driving instructor, Ron, was racist. It was an awkward time in my life. Shut up, Aussie man. This isn't about you. Tell us about the video. Well, she wants to join in traffic, but the car isn't moving. She double checks the basics. Handbrake is down. It's down. Look at the poker face on the instructor. He knows what's going on, but he swore an oath to be silent. He must let teenagers figure this out on their own. Let's have a listen.
Is my handbrake on?
Okay, Ziona, the car's still off.
Oh, why is living like this? What twisted entity made this and called it life? Run away. You know what? I don't run away as much as I should anymore. Ah, dear. If this series can teach us anything, it's that you should run away during the bad stuff happening, or before if you can. I don't know why that gets harder as an adult. I used to run away from everything when I was a kid. Maybe I'm too lazy now. Like, it's better and easier to just enter destination fucked and set up shop there. You know what I mean? Anyway, I can't watch this fella anymore. It's soul destroying. Oi.
Aussie Man reviews, everybody. Oh man, I miss this stuff. I used to see his videos all the time, and he cracked me up. And
I used to work with him in Australia many years ago. He's a chef by trade. Yeah, we worked together at Surfers Paradise. Beautiful place for a vacation, everybody. But yeah, watch Aussie Man. The Australian accent is just funny. Like, I'll tell you the one thing. The reason that's on there is because, like, my typical habit not many, but a few years ago was to get up on Sunday morning all hungover, and I would watch Aussie Man reviews from the week, and that was a really good way to deal with a hangover. But it's just as good when you're not hungover too. So check it out. It's always just fabulous.
Yeah,
especially the coverage of the cheese rolling thing in Glastonbury in England. That, you know, that big cheese wheel that when he covers that. Oh, it's so amazing. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, no worries. Something about the Australian accent to me makes it seem funnier. I don't know why. But he also does a great job, and his expression, destination fucked, is something I use all the time. Still to this day, at least once or twice a week, I'm like saying something. And then going, destination fucked, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
comedic gold right there at that point, I think.
Yeah, I think now at this point, you become an influencer on social media, and pretty soon he can just take like 30-second clips from like a huge library and pop those in every day, and he's just making like huge amounts of money still off of that. Absolutely. You know how long it takes to sit there and edit? People who sit there and do audio, like clips like that actually work and are actually timed properly. There's a lot of work to it. Like way more work than like an interview or whatever. Like he's got to put hours into that.
Yeah,
So.
I know you and I both know all about it. So
I put hours in and I get fucking minutes worth of stuff.
Exactly. So I'm gonna play a clip for us here. I think it should come up here in a second. There we go. All right. There we go.
Well, we need
Greg White.
curfews, lockdowns, and vaccine passports. Really seems like you as the government are trying to restrict and control basically all of our movement and activity. Control? No, this is about safety. We need to protect you from the pandemic. Yeah, I call bullshit. Hong Kong. 1 year later, introducing 15-Minute City, where everything you'll need as a good citizen is within your district. Sounds like you as the government, again, are trying to control all of our movement and activity as a citizen. Control? No. This is all about stopping climate change. Well, alrighty then. Well, we need curfews, lockdowns, and vaccines.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that's Greg Wycliffe, everybody. He's a pretty funny guy. We have quite a few videos of Greg with different people pop up, and he usually does a lot of parody stuff, which I quite enjoy because he's poking fun, but he's got a message, he's got a point, and it's always fun to get your point across with a little bit of humor. It's almost disarming in a way when somebody's funny. And they kind of slip that point in the back door, and you're kind of like, oh shit, they made me laugh, and then oh, I see what they did there. I like that kind of humor. The kind of like, oh, I see what you did there.
And there's a lot of really good Canadian talent on YouTube that way, or on like in online videos in general. And somebody pointed that out the other day when I was talking to them about C11, and they said, well, you could almost see like if you're trying to figure out your enemy, right? And there's probably a Sun Tzu quote that directly relates to this, which I'm not aware of. And what that is like, so if you're an extremely left of center person in Canada, what's your threat? It's like Jordan Peterson and that gentleman and Jeremy McKenzie and. There's a lot of Canadian talent online that's just absolutely been roasting our government left, right, and center. And I think it would be silly to think that didn't play any role in the way that C11 has kind of what they were attempting to do. Now it's categorically failed to do all the things they wanted it to do, which were malicious, and that's why it still hasn't passed. Because the Senate finally grew a pair and said, no, you can't do that stuff. But I think it comes from strong Canadian content that is critical of the government that happens. And that's...
Of course it does. Of course it does. Let's be real here. I mean, the government used our Canadian government here, our Liberal government, used at least in part a fictional meme country as a reason for justification of the Emergencies Act, and they spent an enormous amount of money with RCMP and CSIS investigating this group of meme writers. That's how fucking stupid they are. They were able to be trolled by a bunch of guys that were just dicking around on Twitter and on YouTube, and we're like, let's do this as a joke. And the next thing you know, they're quoting the people of Diagolon in the House of Commons as accelerationist group who seek to create a white ethno state, which is funny as hell because
Mhm.
some of Jeremy's best friends are not of the white background.
Persuasion.
White
Yeah,
persuasion.
the Caucasian persuasion.
Caucasian.
Oh, I
there
like
you go.
saying that.
Caucasian.
That's a
persuasion,
band.
there you go.
That's definitely a band. Like it'd be like Johnny Conformity and the Caucasian Persuasion or something like that. That's a punk band.
If it's not, it's gonna be now.
Yeah, for sure. Although I did just copyright it, so listen, you 3-chord playing motherfuckers.
Yeah. Right. Hey.
Exactly. But that being said, the power of the meme has been underestimated. I mean, it was underestimated until 2015 when Donald Trump used memes to get into the White House. Like quite literally. I don't think that if he wasn't as masterful at memes, and I say that with all sincerity, watching Donald Trump do his thing on social media is fucking hilarious. Like, absolutely. Like, he is really, really good at the meme. And that's, probably part of why the Trump derangement syndrome has a hold of people, because they're just so frustrated that it's funny, right? Like, when something pisses you off and then somebody laughs at it and it just makes you even more angry, that's essentially what happened with anybody who didn't vote Trump. Because then they just had to watch him tell his jokes and watch everybody laugh, and it got them so bitter and envious, Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I think I think Trump was a meme in general. I mean, God bless the man. I think he did a lot of great work, and I think what's funny is that for all the crappy things he did a lot of really great things, and he always made for good entertainment, and I haven't seen that from a president in my lifetime. As much as I'd like to say that some of the presidents were really great, none were quite so great as Trump for a lot of reasons. And
10 days into office, breaks up a sex trafficking ring. 10 days.
10 days. Stronger economy when he was in office than any of the presidents before him, and any the one since.
Yeah. The only person the only Western person who had the balls to just walk unarmed across the North Korean border for a little stroll, the cojones,
True story.
Yeah.
Should have been a Peace Prize recipient, in my opinion. But instead, they gave it to Obama, who just happened to kill a whole bunch of people with bombs and drones and stuff, and never seemed to give a shit about it.
And then Trump comes in and gets the best treaty agreement that Israel and Palestine have had in decades.
Yep.
And it was a good thing too, because what happens, with all that disaster in Pakistan, if there isn't some kind of peace in that region, like how much harder is that situation to go through if the Abraham Accord hadn't been in place? It was very important, and it was extremely good for that region of the world. And it was done without bombs, and it was done without bullshit. It was just a straight up a good way to make an agreement with people. And the best way to do that is to just make it mutually beneficial, so that if everybody wins and nobody loses, everybody's going to get along. That's it. You need free market for that type of thing.
Absolutely. Yep. That's a true story. I find it funny. I had do you guys know it's Women's History Month? So I saw a few things online, and I thought this was quite funny that there's now a Women's History Month. So they only get a month. Shouldn't we celebrate women's history on the dates of the things that happened, and rather than just try and cram them all into a month? That's one thing. The other thing is, I saw another thing happen online, and what is quite funny is that it seems to be that it's Trans Women's History Month more than Women's History Month.
Sure looks like it.
The rhetoric online that would appear as if they don't, women, regular women, women don't deserve this celebration, because they haven't done anything extraordinary, like, identify as a gender that they're not. So
It's what we call an obfuscation. They've been obfuscated.
Exactly, obfuscated.
Mhm.
You've been skated for your ovaries, I think is the terminology there.
Yeah, no, it's the process of essentially it's like where it's a scenario like that where you see some scumbag will prop somebody up and make somebody like very popular or very notorious, essential or etc. only for the reason of stealing what they have once they get there. You know, it's like what Michael Jackson's father did to that family, right? What Papa Jackson did, stuff like that. That's what the transgender community's done to women a lot over the course of the last 2 years. Not to, you know, I'm not taking shots at them personally, but I see what they've done is they joined a movement so that they could take it over.
And that's just it. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from trans people. I'm not denying the fact that it probably took some strength to come out or to transition or whatever it is. But you shouldn't deny the strength it takes for a woman to go through life every day, to be a mother, to be a mother and likely also have a job. So then you're primarily responsible for raising kids and having a job. So there's 2 full-time jobs. You know, the women in the family, generally speaking, are the emotional supply of things. And what I mean by that, I mean that in the best of ways. What I mean is, like, men are generally not as emotionally gifted as women, in the sense.
We have a lower emotional IQ.
Yeah, I would say that's true. And you need that soft emotional perspective. You need that for a good balance in your life. Without my my partner, my wife Erica, I would literally only be half as good. And I'm not saying that to blow sunshine up her ass. I'm literally saying that because there's a lot of things she sees and she has a perspective on that I don't see. And then it makes me better, and it makes me able to see more of the picture than I would have seen before. And so Women's History Month should be Women's History Month, not Trans Women's History Month, because I don't think that trans women have done enough for women. I'm struggling for my words here, but basically I'm struggling with this because it bothers me. Women deserve all the praise. They should receive all the praise. In women,
they deserve their gold medals too.
They absolutely do, and not the trans women. Like, you guys have enough already. Get away with a lot, in my opinion, but I'm going to keep that to myself for now. All I'm saying is that if Women's History Month is about women, then let it be about women.
Yeah.
Not about people who identify as women, because there is a difference. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with hijacking a month or a moment or something to for your own narrative. And that's not what it was intended for. And so either way, that said, there was a little bit of an outcry because the Toronto Raptors put out a Women's History Month video. So I'm going to bring that up here on the screen. Just give me 1 second here. And we should have something pop up in a second here. There we go. All right. I'm going to roll this clip for us, guys. People, I should say.
Thank you for being a girl, making sandwiches around the world. You deserve some praise, so we gave you about 30 days to celebrate your history. Why don't you have yourself a beer and some cake? But any more than that, and you might start to get
I'd
mad.
take beer and
Either
cake.
way, we just wanted to say thank you for being a girl.
So proud of you. You go, girl. I hate that phrase with every fiber of my being. Yeah, it's Women's History Month. Kat, thank you for being a woman.
You're welcome.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, as corporations and groups celebrate women, those mysterious creatures science can't identify, the Toronto Raptors are saying sorry to them for this now deleted video.
Girls run the world because they're the only one that can procreate. They birth everybody. All women are great because they're all queens.
So those first two players said women are the only ones who can procreate and birth everybody. Who do those dudes think they are? Biologists? Man, the truth, they spoke. Pissed off a lot of people, including women that stand up to pee. Or on. He quickly took the video down and apologized, saying it prides itself on doing the right thing when it comes to inclusion and representation, meaning they're so cowardly, they literally deny their own mother, which is new. We're used to pro athletes denying who's the father.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I eventually came around.
Kat, I go to you first because you are a woman. How are you celebrating this month?
Working.
Excellent.
This was great.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I'm not a sports gal,
Yeah.
but I feel like basketball teams have a lot more than 3 people on them, right?
Right, they do.
That was the whole video. I want to see the answers that didn't make the cut.
Yes, exactly. Probably maybe they have a special sensitive file.
Yeah. I'm dead. Someone's like, okay, yeah, they give birth. The other guy's like, yeah, what he said, birth. And like, they're like, what were the guys that were just like, what I want for Women's History Month is the rest of the footage.
Yes.
There's a lot more dudes on that team.
I want the rest of the footage.
There is.
What did they say?
Do you, Titus, do you feel bad for the athletes who are like coerced into this crap? Maybe their agent says, you got to do it. You got to play ball, do this.
No, when you're part of a team, you have to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing WWE had to do for whatever the case was. You had to do something for one. It's just it's part of the ridiculous salaries that we get. So it's not that the problem why it's cut, Kat, is those were the 3 controversial ones.
Yes.
Those are the ones that had the one person aghast.
Yeah.
That sent the email in to take it down. The rest of them was like praising their moms and like, it's like the whole thing. It's like they do like a Mother's Day thing where everyone thanks everyone or thank their wife or whatever. So the one, again, the woke on Twitter who didn't even have tickets to the game, complained about it at home.
Yeah.
And they took it down. So again, shame on you for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how else, I don't know what else was going to birth me, but and they should get at least the tip of the hat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was perfectly willing to give my mom my birthday. Like, you earned it.
Yeah.
You can have 2 birthdays. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can't honor them, that everyone in this room came from there, is ridiculous.
Yeah. Good point.
Amen to that.
Hotep, isn't it weird that certain things we have to apologize for now?
Did you see the Hoteps on Tim Pool?
But you know me, I'm always going to talk about communism. No. This is another communist.
Really good episode. You should check it out.
And basically what's happening here is, as we saw in the past, there was like this attack on toxic masculinity, attack men. Well, the new target is women, sort of convoluting what it is to be a woman. But really what's happening here is women worked really hard for women's rights, to have women's spaces, and now they're being invaded by men.
Right.
I don't see how people don't see what's happening. This is out of all the topics, I can do calculus and all these different crazy topics, but this one I just can't wrap my mind around. And then when you tell people about it, they go, oh, this is AI deep fake and it's not really happening. It's like, no, this is really real. This is happening. But I think you touched on a conspiracy theory. Did they choose those 2 clips because they would stir up controversy and they can use them to sort of propel the agenda? That's what I'm wondering.
Hey, listen, stupid is as stupid does. Every once in a while, they'll throw some stuff together and get it right. But yeah, like I said, right now, that's the thing. That's the hot spot. Yeah. If you're a birthing woman, somehow, if you pee when you stand up and wear a wig, you're supposed to be held in the same acclaim. And it's not. It's just not fair.
You know, Pete, you have 7 children. Did you birth any of them? I mean,
no, but I was there.
You held ice chips, right?
I was a lot of ice chips.
You did the ice chips, yeah.
Yep, get the popsicle.
Yeah. Should the WNBA celebrate Men's History Month?
I don't think there is a Men's History Month.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mind blown, Pete Hegseth.
But because we're in the patriarchy, and every month.
Exactly. Every month is every day is Men's History Month.
Why?
But how can you have a WNBA? Wait. No.
It's subsidized.
But no,
that's why we have
subsidized.
But if there's no such thing as a woman or what a woman is, how can you have a WNBA?
They got to make it all. They got to make it trans.
But what will? Yes, that's the question. What's going to happen when the first dude says, "I'm transitioning and I want to be in the WNBA," and he is a scoring champ?
I'm going to make a lot of money betting on him.
Yeah,
it's a good point. Could be. They're going to have to embrace
There's an upside
it.
here,
They're going to have to embrace it.
That's a great. That's a great movie plot. 2 retired NBA players decide to go and play in the WNBA.
What stops that?
Transitioning, and they just decide they're watching TV and they go, "This is crazy. Let's do it," and then they do it. Is this all? Was this movie already made?
Joanna Man,
but yeah, they didn't quite. Not proud that I know that movie.
I never thought I would hear that movie title again in my life.
We said it at the same time, so
I don't even know what that movie is. That's great.
Let's just move forward.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe
Let's
to Fox
just move
News
forward.
YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, I agree full-heartedly. Okay, well, I got one more video. This is shameless plug, Rabbit Hole Guild plug. Here's episode 2 of the new series that you can find on Rabbit Hole YouTube, Discord, and soon on Rumble.
Go ahead and roll it there, Jay. Are you good? Do you want?
There we go. I got it.
Just an update for today. For those of you who watched the Germination episode yesterday, today I put the domes back on the bottles. Just keeps them a little bit warmer on a chillier day. Everything looks good in there. The only ones that I don't cover is these watermelons, and that's because just the surface area of the leaves is too great, and I worry about rot a little bit there. So tomorrow I'll be going in there and checking on all the seeds again to see what's sprouted, and those will possibly be going in there, and some of those into bottles, and etc., etc.
And here's a sped up look at the preparation that's going into the bottles as I prepare to put the potatoes that are sprouted into bottles. This is just a standard issue, really cheap soldering iron that I bought like a decade ago for $20. It's really good for just making little holes in plastic and things like that. So it comes in pretty handy when I'm doing all this stuff as far as the drainage goes. That's the bottom of the bottle. Lots of drainage holes means that they're not going to retain water. And the next step is to pack the vessels about halfway with dirt. I don't want to fill them too much. You want the potato to have some room for the roots beneath and some room for the shoots above. And so it's fairly quick and easy too. This is 3.5 minutes to do a dozen of them. So not so bad. And then on to putting the actual sprouted potatoes comme ça in. It's really quite as simple as long as the shoot is sticking up. That's going to be it. tuck the dirt in around the best you can, giving it a decent amount of support around that shoot. And off you go. Again, fairly simple process. Here we're doing a dozen. It's a 6-minute process. The whole process of getting these ready, the potatoes in, is it took me 20 minutes. So with an end yield of probably about 300-400 pounds of potatoes. So all I'll have to do from here is when the ground is ready and there's no more frost coming for, say, a week or two, just turn those cups upside down, drop the dirt out, put it into the garden, hill it up, onward and upward. Very simple process. And over here, we've established the potato and beefsteak tomato area. These are going to be the first ones that go out into the greenhouse. Next weekend, I'm going to put the cover on the greenhouse, and then put everything in there on the Monday. It's supposed to be pretty warm. That'll establish some good warm temperatures in there. And then we'll have a couple Coleman lanterns to keep it warm if needed. Basically, I'll just turn those on a little bit at night. They'll warm it up. And also put some extra CO2 into the air for all of the plants within. So that's where we are. I've got a dozen potato plants planted there. So those 6 there, and these 6 with no colors. I'm just going to compare. I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to just compare the growth of the two and see what helps. Here's what I've got for seedlings for the French fingerling potatoes. Probably get those planted tomorrow as well. For now, I'm just going to take them, cover them. That isn't all bent and bruised. Like so. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. We'll take a look at the seeds and then possibly get those put into the root training trays. Thanks, everybody. Talk soon. Bye.
Yeah,
that's how I propagate potatoes.
Good little video there, Jay. There's all kinds of different ways to grow potatoes. Potatoes are, generally speaking, the most calories you can get per square foot out of any food. So you can take, an old wine barrel and grow your entire family's supply of potatoes for the year just in a wine barrel. Pretty easily, actually. It's brainless. What I've seen Jay talked about on another one of our streams, where people are taking the burlap sack style bags and just literally just throwing soil in them with their potatoes and growing them right in there. You can do that. I've also seen a really interesting thing you can get at Home Depot, which is just basically it's huge. They're huge. I mean, you can grow a lot of potatoes on them. And it's just basically like a plastic bag that you put a bit of soil on the bottom, then your potatoes, and then as they grow, you add more soil, and then they have a flap on the side. You just open that flap, and they're all obviously all the potatoes are under the ground there, and you just harvest that and leave the soil in there, and rinse, wash, and repeat.
But you have to do that, folks, with indeterminate potatoes. The very important fact that a lot of people don't mention, there's a lot of varieties of potatoes that are called determinate, and that's because they will only grow potatoes at the root mass. You can keep hilling them, etc. They're never going to grow a potato up there. There's only certain varieties that will grow along the stem underground so that you hill them, and then others are designed to go horizontally. And so those ones you either have to layer them in or just occupy a shit pile of space. So watch for the indeterminate potato seeds. Those are the only ones I think you should get. The others are a big waste of energy, time, and space.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. I agree with that.
And I'm talking to you, Yukon Golds. You're a part of the problem.
We grew potatoes last year and this year, actually, called Erica potatoes. Literally, Erica potatoes. That's the name of the potato brand or the species, and they are actually spelled with a K, like the wife's name. So that was quite cute. And so that's our standard potato around here, just because that's what we started with, and we have them, and we grow from them. And you never need to have once you grow potatoes, you just take some of the potatoes you grew and let them get eyes on them and put them back in the soil, or leave some in the soil, and they just regrow the next year. Potatoes are easy to grow, and everybody should grow them. Now, Jay, that was a bit of a shameless plug for Jay. I'm going to plug a product that I discovered. Everybody should know about this. We sometimes talk about our go bags, our survival kits, and outdoorsy type of stuff. And I'm a big fan of wool products. Anything wool is really great because number one, it's going to insulate you really well. Number two, it's going to keep you dry. Number three, it's going to keep you cool. And number four, it's not going to collect any bacteria. Wool is great at being an antimicrobial and antibacterial. And one thing that everybody should have in their go bag, in their camping kit, whatever you want to call it, in their emergency supplies, is a wool blanket. Traditionally, especially the military wool blankets, are these super scratchy, warm and dry, but super scratchy, tough, not very big blankets. And actually, to try and buy, from what I had seen online anyways, to try and buy replicas of that was quite expensive. Now, I found a company called Arcturus. They're out of Washington, so just a little bit south of us here. So they designed apparel and different things that their products are built for this environment, for a rainforest, cold, snow, humid environment. And I happen to buy one of these blankets for myself and one for Erica. And so here's what they look like. I'll just show them here. It's just a fancy little wool blanket, But I want to point out to everybody that most wool blankets are super, super scratchy. And as soon as I got this one, I opened up the package to feel it, and it feels like a soft pair of jeans. They have some kind of process where they triple wash it, and they do a certain kind of weaving that keeps it from being scratchy. So it's still wool. It's still a very high quality product. But it's not going to be itchy and scratchy because no, I'm not trying to quote the MTV show. It's not going to make your skin itchy, and it's not going to bug you. It's going to be more comfortable. So for those of you that maybe have some types of allergies and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for you. Now this blanket, you can get them all kinds of colors. So this guy here, pardon me, cost $55, and it's a 6 foot by 8 foot blanket made out of wool. So for the price, you're not going to get anything done for sure. Because for $55 for a 6 foot by 8 foot, I mean, this will keep two people warm, especially if you got to huddle up. 2 people warm easy. Now we'll both have one in our packs, but just think of the possibilities there. And wool, it's almost water repellent. It just doesn't get wet, and when it gets wet, it doesn't feel wet. It just kind of, I don't know. It's hard to describe. When wool gets wet, you don't feel wet. It's really weird, but you just don't get wet. You don't feel. My point here is really good product find. I was surprised by it. And you can't always trust reviews on Amazon. That's where I got it, Amazon. It's made by Arcturus, Arcturus, and they're out of Washington. So if you need a wool blanket, because everybody should have one in their kit, order it from them because it's a hell of a deal. So I'm going to try it out. I might even sleep tonight, but either way, I'm going to try it out on our next little overnight gig, and I'll let you guys know once I do that how it feels, but and how warm it is. But it's I can tell just by the weight of it that it's going to be a nice warm blanket. The only caveat there is that in my head, I was like, a 6 foot by 8 foot blanket's not that big, but that is quite a big blanket. So it's going to take up a lot of space in my pack. So I'll have to figure out some way around that. But either way, really good. And I can tell
6 foot by 8 foot's almost a king size bed.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, I mean, that's enough for 2 people easy.
Certainly. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know for a fact, I've spent a lot more money than that on an Irish wool sweater. So, wool is not a cheap thing. I mean,
no, it's not. No, it's not.
not to get it well done anyway. I mean, you can get cheap wool shit, but to get good stuff, yeah, it's going to cost you some. It's going to cost you some bucks. So yeah, that is a good deal. I have a wool blanket that's like probably 30 years old that I still use. So that's how long they last. You know, I've got one in my gear that was passed down to me, and I still use it, and it works great. Yeah, my dad used to use it when he was mountaineering, and when I started mountaineering, he just gifted it to me, and I continue to use it. And yeah, it's great.
So I mean, there you go. Not only is it a good quality product, it'll keep you safe, it'll keep you warm, keep you dry. It's a multi-generational product. So there's that as well. Handed down, because most wool products last a very long time, I know that there are some Hudson's Bay wool blankets back from the original build that are still kicking. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Hudson Bay being what the fifth oldest company in the world, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yep, that's pretty old. So, either way, good investment. $55, Arcturus. You can find them on Amazon. I think that's just about going to do it for us, folks. It's been a good Sunday fun day. I hope you enjoyed our clips and our humor and Jay's update on the potatoes and the information there, as well as a little tip from me on the blanket. If there's anything else you want to add, Jay, go ahead.
No, that's it for me. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. We're gonna try to. Sorry, I'm gonna say it's my fault. We didn't get the TikTok thing going today because I missed a step, but we're gonna get that going on Tuesday. So hopefully, anybody who's watching who's a TikTok buddy, you might be watching this on a TikTok promo right now. Check us out on Tuesday. We're gonna do our warm-up show only for our TikTok friends, and then we'll bounce over to YouTube and do the rest of the show there, and it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll do Fake News Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll do Fake News Tuesday, and we are going to we're also going to try and get going on Rumble. So I want everybody, first of all, follow me, Fringe Monkey 22 on Rumble. Go to the Telegram. It's all down here in the ticker on the bottom. Go to the Telegram page, join us there. Rabbit Hole Guild on Telegram, t.me/Rabbit Hole Guild. And follow me on Twitter as well, Fringe Monkey 22. And obviously you're seeing us here on YouTube likely. So follow us on YouTube if you haven't already. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Leave a comment what you liked, what you didn't like, and what we could do better, and what you'd like to see in the stream. We're always open to suggestions. Try and keep it in the theme of what we do, which is usually news and a little bit of gardening, farming, camping, survival information. So, but otherwise, give us some ideas if you like. We always appreciate input and interaction from our friends and our followers. So there's that. All right, so thank you guys for coming along. Thank you, people, rather. I am going to rewatch this episode with the massive cans from Gutfeld here, because I just found that incredibly funny. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Sunday. Much love, people. Be good to one another. We are out.